The way he's roasting it, I feel like killing myself. This is why I told you I'll just leave the kitchen and he's cooking.
Yeah.
Because I'm like snail space.
Good things take time. You can't rush the process.
Yes, we can't. Hi, welcome to Urmi's Cakes and Cooks. Today I'm going to show you how to make puttu. And I have my husband with me who's going to show you how to make his mother's puttu recipe. This is Ganesh.
Hi everyone. She nearly forgot my name. Okay, so my name is Ganesh. And what I'm going to show you is how to make puttu the way my mother taught me. Okay, thank you. So what we are using here is rice flour. So this is white rice flour. As you can see there, that's the brand that we use. It shouldn't be glutinous flour, just normal white rice flour. And I've tried some other brands. The texture sometimes doesn't turn out well, so that's why I like to use this one.
Okay.
Right now you'll see the rice flour, if I show it, it doesn't fall off properly. Right, what you want to do is roast it to the point where it starts changing color, which I'll show you towards the end.
A lot of people nowadays are very time poor. So if they wanted to, they couldn't do the puttu all in one go. Can they roast the flour on one day and put it aside and then do the second and third step another day? Or?
Yes, you can. In fact, normally you need to let the flour cool down a bit before you do it, otherwise it's a bit hard to work it.
So let it cool down and then store it in an airtight container? Or?
Yes, it's best so that, because if too much of moisture gets in, then it might affect the consistency later on when you make it.
You can see it's changing color.
Taking it to the point where it is browning is actually important. I feel it adds a bit of flavor when you do that. Taking it to that point where it's turning. So it's not just the texture, but I think also the flavor of the puttu itself changes a little bit.
Okay, so how old were you when your mother first taught you how to make puttu?
Actually, I can't remember. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old. I used to help with different parts of the process. So this part, which is the most boring part, was what I was made to do first, right? And then she would just come and supervise and say, okay, that's enough. So I had to stand there and do it. And of course, my constant question would be, is it done? Is that enough?
It just teaches you patience, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm going to turn the stove off because it's getting too hot.
So if you do that, so it just falls off easily without sticking, right? So that means it's okay, because otherwise it'll tend to clump up when you make the next stage. Okay.
So now we just let it cool.
So now we're coming to the second part of the process where we're actually going to make the puttu. So this is the flour that we used before. We roasted it. Now it's cooled down. So the only thing we need to add is some salt. So the measurement we use, I mean, this is a traditional kola, I call it.
It's not traditional.
It's not traditional. This is actually a used tin. So that's what it is.
Yeah.
But using this measurement, for about 1 cup or 1 tin of this, it's half a teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to add some salt.
So this tin is basically just like an evaporated milk tin, which is about 375 or 390 mils. And then we've just peeled off the label, washed it, and reusing it.
All right, so then just mix in the salt evenly. Then comes the most important part, which is you're going to put in the hot water. Now when you add the water should be boiling hot. And initially I will put a fair bit and mix it.
When you say a fair bit, do you mean like half a cup of water?
I don't measure it, I just pour it. Okay.
Well, I guess that's how all our mothers taught us how to cook.
Yeah. No, because you'll keep adding the water. But what I want to say is this, like initially you'll add quite a bit, like I'll just do that much of water. But as we go later in the process, you will add less because it's very easy to go over. And if you have too much of water, then it just becomes one big lump.
It'll be gluggy.
Yeah, gluggy. And you won't form the texture that you want. So this is the technique. So you got to do this, put the water and you mix it, and then this motion is the one, it starts forming this kind of little, I don't know what do you call it,
pearls?
Globules, pearls, something like that, yeah? All right. This is where a little bit of technique comes in. And like I said, you have to watch it and not make it go over. So you form this lump, and then as you rub it over the drier parts, this motion helps to form the globules or the pearls.
So you pour the water that is absorbed into the flour, that big chunk, you're actually loosening it and
you're rubbing it onto
the dry flour and making into smaller bits.
Smaller balls, like that. So it's just technique.
That's how you have to explain it, so that people like me who have never made puttu will understand it better.
So I normally prefer a wider, slightly flatter one, but for the aesthetics of this video, I've been asked to use this.
It's starting to look a bit like puttu now. Oh. Good job.
See, it's starting to form these like globules. I don't know whether you can see that properly. Yeah. So it should be all like that. While I use the spoon, like a lot of people tend to use this, and you can use this as well. So you just do this with the tin. So it helps to make sure you get that correct texture. So you can use this to break up all the big lumps.
Okay. So now should we move on to the next part?
That's how we have to say, shut up, let's go.
Pretty much.
Okay, so now that we've made the puttu, so this is the texture of the puttu. Now we're going to steam it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it into this steamer. Now, this is not traditionally how puttu is steamed, because normally they have the traditional steamer, the kural is like a tube. So it'll be in a long tube and it steams in that shape. But because we don't have that, and we're just using any steam, and anyone can steam it this way.
Also, traditionally, don't they, when they're steaming it in the tube, the kural, you have coconut, you put fresh coconut, then you put a bit of the puttu flour. Yeah.
So the coconut is there to break it up. It's two reasons. One is for flavor, but the other thing is also when you put it at certain points, so then the long tube, it breaks off nicely into sections at the point where there's the coconut, because the rest of it tends to stick a bit. So this is the thing. So now, take it. Yeah. And now we just got to wait for it to steam. Normally it'll take about 5 minutes or so, roughly. I don't actually time it, we'll go by look and feel. So when you can see it looks, the texture cooked, the texture is different. We'll take a little bit and check it and see. That's important because the bigger particles will take some time, different time to cook.
Oh, is it hot?
Yeah. Well, yes. So it's almost done, I think. So how I check is I move it a bit and then I'll take some out and check. Normally you want to check a big piece, and it's still a bit floury, so it should be
bounce back.
It should be spongy. Then it's fully cooked. So this is still a bit floury, so it needs to go a bit more. What do you mean by seasonal chefs?
People who cook when they feel the season's correct. You can't be on MasterChef. Are you sad?
I never said I wouldn't be on MasterChef. Okay. So now I think it looks done. Yep. So when I do this, I can see it's like holding, right? And I'm just going to take one big piece.
Holding, meaning like
it sticks, right? It's not flour. And you can take a piece and see. Yeah. So you will feel it, there's the bounce, and there's also the taste wise you don't feel the flour, then it's done. Okay? So it's done now.
This is the amount of puttu that we got from that one packet of rice flour, which is quite a bit, probably about 4 to 5 people can eat, depending on how much you eat, of course. If it was me, probably I'll eat half of it myself. But we're just going to enjoy it while it's warm with a little bit of butter and sugar, which is the simplest way to eat this delicious warm puttu. So how much of butter and sugar you add is really up to you.
I don't need that much.
Okay.
I'm sweet enough.
Oh, are you really? Very comforting, very warm.
And I think I did a good job, if I do say so myself.
Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and if you like it, please follow and share. See you soon. Happy cooking.